Remember how during much of last year, we were all losing our minds over how expensive eggs were getting? Well, just like how eggs experience price inflation over time, meaning that the dollar price of, say, a dozen eggs increases compared to before, so do airline award redemptions. Here, it's more commonly referred to as miles devaluation, where the amount of miles needed to book a flight increases compared to before. We saw devaluations in swaths this year, with United, Cathay Pacific, and Virgin Atlantic being notable culprits. However, in a welcome shift in the tides, we recently saw an airline loyalty program, namely Flying Blue from Air France and KLM, experience miles appreciation or devaluation, if that's an actual term. What makes this even sweeter is that the Flying Blue program was already a very competitive airline loyalty program, one of, if not the best, in my opinion. Hi everyone, I'm Monty, a card nerd, and in this video, I'm going to go more into the Flying Blue program, as well as later on in the video, go over a lesser known and potentially game-changing consequence of the miles appreciation that is relevant to my personal experience. So I hope you'll stick around. Now, Flying Blue has what's called dynamic award pricing, meaning that when the dollar price of a flight goes up, so does the amount of miles needed to book that flight, and vice versa. While this can lead to some astronomical award prices on some flights, we also get some very reasonable award prices on other flights. Now, prior to the recent changes, the lowest or saver award price for a one-way flight from the East Coast of the US to Europe would run you 15,000 Flying Blue miles on economy, 30,000 on premium economy, and 55,000 on business class. From the West Coast to Europe, it was 24,000 miles on economy, 40,000 on premium economy, and 80,000 on business class. After the recent changes, the Saver Award prices for all US to Europe flights, so no distinction between East Coast and West Coast, are now standardized at 20,000 miles on economy, 35,000 on premium economy, and 50,000 on business class. Essentially, we have that all these itineraries, except for economy and premium economy from the East Coast, now have lower award prices compared to before, which is simply awesome, given that prior to the change, the amount of miles you needed was really not that much compared to other airline loyalty programs. In particular, I'm just so excited for my West Coast folks looking to travel in style on business class to Europe, because now you guys will only need 50,000 Flying Blue miles compared to the original 80,000, so a massive 37.5% reduction. We also need to highlight some other aspects of the Flying Blue program that make it arguably one of the best, starting with how all, and I mean all, transferable credit card currencies transfer to Flying Blue. This includes American Express, Chase, Capital One, Citibank, and BILT. Technically, it also includes Marriott Bonvoy, but I feel like that's hardly ever acknowledged given the rather dismal transfer rates. Anyway, this comes in so clutch if you've accumulated points across multiple credit card ecosystems, but not quite enough from a single one in order to make your redemption. Also, these ecosystems frequently offer transfer bonuses to Flying Blue. Currently, until November 30th, you can transfer your Chase Ultimate Reward points at a 25% bonus to Flying Blue miles. So, for example, if you wanted to book one of those transatlantic business class flights for 50,000 Flying Blue miles, you would only need to transfer 40,000 Chase Ultimate Reward points instead of 50,000, so a 10,000 point reduction. We're also unlikely to see the last transfer bonus to Flying Blue out there if the past is at all indicative of the future. Referencing the points guide, just in 2023, we had two 25% bonuses from Amex, two 25% bonuses from Chase, including the current one 20% bonus from Capital One, and one 25% bonus from Citibank. So if you're planning to make a Flying Blue redemption in the future, definitely look out for if there's a transfer bonus. There's a good chance there will be one. Finally, Flying Blue consistently offers promo rewards on select classes and routes. Just go to their main website to see what's currently being offered, which at the time of this video includes several 25% point discounts on various itineraries. This makes that transatlantic business flight as low as 37,500 Flying Blue miles. So if you were to stack that with the 25% transfer bonus, you would only need to pay 30,000 in credit card points. Just wow. Now I'd like to talk about a redemption that I made from New York to Naples, Italy, where if the miles appreciation happened before I made the booking, it would have changed my outcome for the better. At the time, the lowest business class award price that I could find was for 62,000 Flying Blue miles, flying on Air France with a layover in Paris. I think it was higher than the 55,000 original Saver award price because that itinerary included two legs. However, that same itinerary, if I booked it on Virgin Atlantic, which is possible because Air France and Virgin Atlantic are partner airlines, would have only costed me 48,500 Virgin Atlantic miles. And so I thought, well, easy choice. And so I went ahead and made that booking for my wife and I for 97,000 Virgin Atlantic miles. Unfortunately, due to some scheduling changes on Air France's part, they had to cancel one leg in my itinerary. So, okay, bummer, but presumably Virgin Atlantic would be able to rebook me on another flight on the same day, right? Well, the issue is that because it was an Air France itinerary and not a Virgin Atlantic itinerary, Virgin Atlantic was unable to rebook me on another flight. Instead, all that they could do was fully refund me the miles, taxes, and fees that I had already paid. This highlights a key risk when it comes to booking award tickets with partner miles. Even though so often doing so grants you access to so many more itineraries of awesome value, you may be in a situation just like I was, where if the airline cancels your itinerary, you may just end up stuck with the points that you transferred with no alternative immediate solution in order to use them. And unfortunately, no, you can't transfer your airline miles back to credit card points. Now, I think if I had made that booking with Flying Blue miles, Air France might have been able to rebook me on another flight with the miles, taxes, and fees that I already paid. Now, I don't have direct experience with this, so for anyone who does, I'd appreciate if you could share with everyone in the comments. Okay, so now that that New York to Naples Saver Award ticket will only cost you 50,000 Flying Blue miles, and on Virgin Atlantic, it's the same 48,500 Virgin Atlantic miles, you can see that the gap between the two is much narrower at only 1,500 miles. Personally, having already experienced the situation that I did, I think in the future, I might just go with that Flying Blue route. For my West Coast folks, it isn't even a question, as that Saver Reward ticket from, say, Los Angeles to Naples would only cost you 50,000 Flying Blue miles, whereas on Virgin Atlantic, it costs you 77,500 Virgin Atlantic miles. Now, I hope this video has given you a better understanding of how to strategically use the Flying Blue program for your next European venture. To me, it's a program that so beautifully optimizes for ease and value of award redemptions. Now, that's it for me, and if you found value in the content, do consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. For now, peace.